Третья больница, Мариуполь. Роддом. Людей подоставали завалом.
There's no such a thing as the LGBTQ military corps. LGBTQ military people are scattered all around the armed forces of Ukraine. We are in the artillery, we are in the infantry, we are among the medical workers, everywhere. So, no such a thing. Sorry. My partner and I are in the mortar battery now. So we're basically working with mortar. We've been to the Bakhmut, that's the eastern part of Ukraine. We've been to the Kharkiv region, and we've been to the Kherson region. Apparently the hottest, the most dangerous spots of the front line. Well, apparently I didn't decide to join the LGBTQ military. I decided to join the armed forces of Ukraine to protect my country when the Russia started full-scale invasion Ukrainian territories. It was on the 25th of February last year, and we've been here since then. Before that, my partner was a theater director and I was an actor and a playwright. But apparently, the ways that we used to fight Russian aggression in Ukraine didn't work out, so we decided to take the weapons, and that's how we protect Ukraine now. The guys that are in the army, they are not some kind of aliens. They didn't come from nowhere. They are the same guys that walked the streets before the 24th of February last year. And there are all sorts of people. There are people who are ultra-right. There are people who are very religious people. There are educated and not very educated people. So some people who we are in one battery in, they have ultra-conservative views, and they are the most difficult to have dialogue with. But most people are okay. The people in our unit, in our platoon, are very tolerant, despite of half of them not having higher education or things like that. But we've been great friends since they joined our unit, and we haven't had any signs of direct discrimination. So we haven't been physically abused or verbally abused, but there are things like some people from other platoons, they just don't, they ignore us, or they don't shake our hands, I mean my partners and mine, and things like that. And sometimes they used to say things like, well, we need some strong men to deal with this kind of equipment, not you guys. And that was strange, because we've been in like hundreds of situations where we had to carry heavy things and do the same things that the guys do, I mean the rest of the guys in our battery. And the time after time you have to prove that you can do all sorts of jobs in the mortar battery, and that's kind of humiliating. Well, when I joined the armed forces of Ukraine, I didn't tell my mom, and I didn't tell her for like 2 or 3 weeks. I just told her that I was hiding in the bomb shelter, and the connection, the phone or the internet connection was very bad all the time. That's why I couldn't talk to her. But then she started to be very suspicious, and I had to tell her. And that's the same situation with my partner. So he didn't tell his family like for a couple of weeks after we joined the armed forces of Ukraine, because that's not the information the parents. I think it's difficult for the parents to digest that sort of information, really. Before the war, you mean before the 24th of February, when the full-scale war started? Because the Russian-Ukrainian war started in 2014, and I have to be very clear about that. But when the Russia started full-scale invasion, it was the 24th of February, and on that day, my partner and I, we had to have a rehearsal of a new play that we had to release on the 8th of March last year. So we used to work on different theater projects. We had a theater that we founded together, and we used to work to cooperate with different independent theater projects, and that was one of the projects. It was about women initiation, so to say, in modern Ukrainian reality. Yeah, I've been a victim of homophobia in the past, as well as my partner. I'm 38 years old now, so I grew up in the times before the internet, and people used to be very uneducated about what LGBTQ people are, and the narratives, the things that media say about us changed drastically after 2014, after the revolution of dignity. But before that, the things were horrible. In my hometown, I grew up in a small town in the center of Ukraine, and in my hometown, I used to be bitten many times and chased and called different names, and that wasn't easy. But and things started to be different when I moved to the capital of Ukraine, but not very different. I've been bitten like every other year, and before the full-scale invasion, my partner and I were walking in the street. There was in autumn 2021. Yeah, so like a couple of months before the full-scale invasion. And we were just walking in the street, and there were two guys who were obviously looking for trouble, and they noticed a small rainbow ribbon on my partner's jacket, and they started like speaking aggressively, and they started pushing, and we got into a fight. That was the last case of physical aggression against us. But I think that's going to change. I think that becoming a soldier of the armed forces of Ukraine gave me lots of confidence, and I'm not, I can't even think, I can't even imagine how anyone could discriminate me because I'm a gay soldier or anything like that. I think things are going to change. I don't have any illusions about how the situation with around the LGBTQ people is going to change after we win this war, which I'm certain. We still will have our fight to do, our work to fight, our war to fight, because the things are not going to change by themselves. We will have to make the situation change. Our war as LGBTQ people, our war for equal rights for everyone, is not over, and it's not going to be over when we win this war against Russia. So we'll have lots of things to do. What I'm absolutely certain of is that the people's opinions are going to change thanks to LGBTQ military people who are getting out of closet, who are becoming more and more visible now. There are like hundreds of LGBTQ people now in the armed forces of Ukraine who I know of, and I'm sure that there are more of us here, but not all of us are openly gay, and I'm sure it's a good thing. I'm sure when people who are in the army, who are in the same unit with you, find out that you're a gay person, and nothing terrible has happened to them because of you, because of you being gay, they will become more tolerant, and that thing will spread around. I mean, the more people find out that being gay doesn't mean anything, doesn't mean anything bad, the more tolerant our community, our society will be. As for my art, I'm not sure if I'm going to go back to doing art. The war has changed lots of things, and I used to think of myself as an artist. I used to think of myself as a person doing theater, and I'm very happy about the people who are going on with this, who are continuing to do theater, to write plays, to stage plays, and so on. But I just feel like the creativity source in me just has exhausted, has stopped, and I have no creativity. Maybe it's a temporary thing. Maybe when the war is over and when we win this war and I have some rest, maybe it'll come back, but not now. I don't think of myself as an art person anymore. I think of myself as a soldier, and what I want to do most is to fight against the Russian soldiers who invaded our territories, who killed, raped our people, and destroyed our buildings. And that's like task number one for me.